It's not surprising that a lot goes into running a theme park, and nowhere is that more true than Disney. However, many things are going on behind the scenes that Disney would rather us guests and fans didn't know. Number 10. People have died there. Do you sometimes hear about people dying on fairground rides or freak horse-drawn carriage accidents? But at Disney World? No. If people died at Disney World, they couldn't call it the happiest place on earth anymore, could they? Well, as it turns out, accident statistics don't appear to have any bearing on whether a company gets to maintain its stupid slogans. People have indeed died at Disney World, and sometimes in horrible, horrible ways. We're not going to linger on the 2-year-old who was killed by an alligator at Disney World because that's just too awful to contemplate. There have been other several guest fatalities, including a 9-year-old who was killed by a shuttle bus and a man who was killed when he was struck by a derailed train car on the Big Thunder Railroad. Employees have died too. In 2004, a man dressed as Pluto was killed by a float, and in 1974, an 18-year-old employee was killed by the moving wall of a rotating stage. Before we move on, leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be the first watching new episodes. Number 9. There's an abandoned theme park on an island in Disney World's Bay Lake. Do you know that Disney World has its own creepy abandoned amusement park too? Its circumstances aren't quite as harrowing, but it's still one of those things that Disney wishes would go away and stay buried. For nearly 25 years, visitors to Disney's Discovery Island enjoyed a wildlife preserve/amusement park that housed more than 600 native and tropical birds and featured a walk-in aviary, a flamingo pool, and bird shows. But alas, Disney was unable to protect its feathered cast members from real-life villains. In 1989, word got out that people were shooting rifles at the resident hawks and beating vultures to death, and that employees were destroying the nests and eggs of ibis and egrets. Authorities launched an investigation and charged Disney with 16 state and federal counts of bird abuse. Disney settled the matter out of court for $95,000. Discovery Island limped along for another decade, but it finally closed its doors in 1999. The ruins of the old park are still there though, but to get there, you have to either take a boat, not allowed, or swim through alligator-infested waters. Also not allowed, but who's going to do that anyway? So most of the island's remaining secrets will likely stay untold. Number 8. Walt Disney liked to watch his guests. Talk about spine-chilling. In Disneyland, which was the original theme park, a secret apartment exists, which Walt Disney used to look at the guests walking past, who had no idea. This hiding spot is on Main Street, on the 2nd floor of the fire department. After Walt passed away, the company put a light in the apartment window to honor him. It was Walt's park, so he could have anything he wanted, and if he wanted to place himself in his theme park, that's fair enough. If he wanted to watch his guests, that was up to him too. We guess it's no different to company owners watching employees and customers on security cameras. But it's just the fact that you think you're at Disneyland having the time of your life, and you're secretly being watched. Number 7. There's a secret network of tunnels beneath Disney World. By now it's clear that Disney is all about pretending that their theme parks are perfect in every way, so this next secret isn't surprising. However, it's no less creepy to hear. Beneath Walt Disney World in Florida, there lies a huge system of interconnected tunnels. These exist so Disney employees don't ruin the park's magic by doing the ordinary things they've got to do, like take out the garbage or even traveling between areas. The tunnels go on for about 9 acres, and employees even need vehicles to drive them around because the place is so ginormous. We get that the employees need space to do all that, but the secrecy of it makes it feel super weird. We can handle the fact that the girl dressed as Minnie Mouse needs a sip of water because she's an actress and not an oversized mouse. Number 6. Many Disney employees have been arrested for crimes. While Disney wants us to believe that every single person working there is altruistic and genuine enough to align with their vision, the truth is that more than one Disney employee has turned out to be a bad apple. Several people working for Disney have been arrested for terrible crimes, including crimes against children. Between 2006 and 2014 alone, at least 35 employees were charged with many crimes and were revealed to be the kind of people you don't want your children to be exposed to. This isn't Disney's fault, and we're sure there would be a rigorous interview process to say the least. But it's important to know that even a company of such prestige and whose essence is all about creating joy for children can unfortunately suffer this kind of thing just like everybody else. We're sure Disney doesn't want us to know that though. Number 5. Cats are let loose at Disneyland every night. Disney may want us to believe that Disneyland is a magical place from a storybook, and we so wish it were. But sadly, it's just another place on Earth that suffers from the same realistic problems as every other location. One of these problems is rats. And since Disney obviously can't have rodents running around during the day and scaring the guests, each night they reportedly set feral cats free on the grounds to hunt the rats. It's not that we have a problem with them getting rid of the rats because we're not that interested in having rats hanging around our feet while we're waiting for a go on Splash Mountain. But the whole concept of wild cats roaming around at night doesn't fit in with our preconceived notions of the happiest place on Earth. Not to mention all the killing that would be going on. What would Mickey say about that? Number 4, tough to be a Disneyland employee. If you were ever lucky enough to go to Disneyland as a child, there's a good chance you looked around at the fairy tale scenery and happy princesses walking around and decided that you were going to work there when you grew up. Count your blessings that dream didn't come true because some testimonies from past theme park employees suggest that working there would be the worst thing ever. Employees must be chipper at all times, which is a huge ask for people with normal human emotions, and things are mostly crappy if you're working as a character. You're never allowed to break character, can never say no to a park guest, not allowed to sit down, and are not allowed to point at all using a single finger. Male employees were forbidden from having beards until 2012, and until 2001, employees even had to wear specific Disney underwear. What a headache. Number 3, lack of mothers in Disney isn't an accident. It's a common theme in Disney animated pictures for the protagonist to be motherless. We see this with Jasmine, Belle, Ariel, and of course Bambi. Heck, we even saw it with Nemo. Some fairy tales were originally written that way, so you can't blame Disney for all of them, but some mothers were killed off on purpose. The story goes that Walt Disney's mother perished in a house fire, which was caused by a faulty furnace, and he felt personally responsible because he bought her the house. So because of this trauma, he would not allow mothers to be included in most of his animations. There isn't anything wrong with this per se. Poor guy was dealing with some issues. But it is interesting and creepy, and that's something you often hear. There have also been rumors that Disney aimed to provoke anti-family values in children, but that's only a theory. Number 2, there are secret police at Walt Disney World. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that Disney doesn't talk about openly and would rather you didn't know. Though it seems like there isn't any security at Walt Disney World, there are secretly guards everywhere. They dress like regular people and do everyday things, so they blend in with all the guests until something goes wrong. It wouldn't fit in with the tone of Disney World to have a stern-faced police force standing around the Magic Kingdom, so we can understand why they have to blend in. And to be honest, this only sucks if you're planning on doing the wrong thing. We're relieved that we can feel safe at Disney World, knowing that security guards are around if a dangerous situation arises. But having said that, it's unnerving to know that there are police walking around and you don't know who or where they are. Number 1. In 2017, Disney owed nearly $4 million in back wages. It's bad enough being an underpaid fur character on a 110-degree day in Florida and occasionally being accused of an uncouth behavior. But to add insult to injury, in 2017, a judge found that 16,339 Disney employees were owed back wages because Disney was deducting costume or uniform expenses from their paychecks. At that time, that was enough to slip many employees under the threshold for the federal minimum wage. Disney owed a total of $3.8 million to affected employees, and that's not their only transgression. The Department of Labor found that they didn't keep their payroll records up to date and also didn't pay some of their employees for working overtime. In Disney's defense, everyone else does it too. The district director for the wage and hour division in Jacksonville, Florida, said those sorts of employment violations were not uncommon and that Disney was very cooperative during the investigation. And don't have to feel too bad about that big dollar amount either. In 2014, Disney's domestic parks and resorts had a total operating income of $2.7 billion. So it's not like those back wages are going to sting all that much. Thanks for watching. Leave the comment down below and let us know what is the weirdest secret on this list. Don't forget to subscribe for new and upcoming episodes.